Hi, welcome to the coaching game. I'm Laurie Lawson, and my lovely, lovely co-host is the wonderful Terry Yoffe. Hey, Terry Yoffe.
Hey, Terry Yoffe. Hey, Laurie Lawson. Both of us. I'm saying
Hey,
hello,
everybody. Yeah.
right? Welcome to Coaches Creating Change.
Yeah.
Uh,
We're,
and
we're half a year into 2024. I am most still amazed. It's like, what happened? What happened?
I agree with you. And I wonder how many people at this point have created some change in their lives. Or, they're still zipping along, oh well, blah, 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 and have done nothing to enhance, grow, expand who they are.
That's a cool thought. And change maybe by necessity, but it's so much cooler by choice. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna take that leap and I'm gonna do it. No matter how scared I am, we're gonna get it done. So yeah, that's something that the audience can think about. What changes did I want to make? What changes have I made? What got in the way, and we still have half a year to go, but you realize it's going fast. So
Very fast. I mean, you kind of look down, you look up, and whoops, it's July. What happened to March and April and May? Even June. I've never seen June go so quickly.
it's summer, and it's like, oh, okay. What happened here? Because we're supposed to be making chill and cool down plans, but I think Terry and I both agree, oh, that's not happening. So
No.
we're revving up, but what we wanted to talk about today? We decided we wanted to talk about, well, what is energizing us and what is feeding us and what is giving us energy. And one of the things we were thinking that could be helping and could be in the way would be relationships.
Mm.
Who do we surround ourselves with? And what do we get from these relationships? And how much energy do we have to expend to keep them? So that was something we kind of I'm in the process of doing that actually. So it's good that this came up. Because I'm finding I don't have the energy that I used to have to run around and do things that maybe I don't want to do. So that's what we thought we would talk about today. Terry, what are your thoughts on that?
Huh. Oh boy. I agree. Who we are and who we choose to become depends a lot on ourselves and also, our certainly our inner selves. But we have to look at our outer environment and what's in the outer that's helping us, that's assisting us, that's hindering us from getting to where we go. You know, um, do we have friends and even family that support us and cheer us on when we want to keep growing, whether we're 50, 60, 70, 80, 90? It doesn't matter. Age doesn't exist anymore. It's what you do with your life and who's there to support you and who's there that really doesn't. And what do we do? That's the question.
That is the question. And it also, I guess we have some cautionary things that we might want to think about. It's like, do we have relationships just so they can benefit us, or do we sometimes do we have relationships that we're the giver? And of course, I think there are times like that at our age. We've always ended up, being the giver at one point or another. But I think it's we're not just talking about one-time instances. We're really talking about who do you habitually choose to be around? Who do you habitually choose to share dreams with if you do that? Or who do you so I have a few friends where I squelch dreams. I don't really tell them my dreams. It's
Mhm.
like because it wouldn't, I don't think it would go well. I could try it, but I don't think it would go well. So we're not saying that every relationship has to benefit you, but we're saying if there's a balance, and the balance should be in your favor. It really should be. So what are some toxic relationships you can think of? Not
Mm,
your
yeah.
own. I mean, not where we're making it not personal, but what are some that you could be thinking of?
Well, luckily, I don't have any in my life.
Okay, good. So all her
Uh,
friends are intact. Good.
I don't have a lot of friends.
Mhm.
I have a very, very small circle of friends. I'm not the person that collects people. I have a few friends, and all of my friends are pretty much, other than one, are all retired.
Mm.
And here I am zipping along, you know. What do I want to do next? That's always where I'm looking. What's next for me? Instead of retiring. I couldn't even imagine doing that. So I don't have any toxic relationships in my life. And unfortunately, there could be people that have family that's toxic. What do you do in that event? When they're family, how do you have them in your life? It's not like friends that all of a sudden you can cut out of your life. I think that if you do have toxic family, keep the conversation small. Keep it, oh, how's the weather? Kind of a conversation, not getting into anything heavy duty. Or space out seeing them, see them very infrequently. Because I think in the end, at least for me, we have to have self interest. We have to take care of ourselves. Number one.
I agree. Or you're going to be a half-assed friend. You're going to be, if you're withholding part of yourself, you're not giving all of yourself. I love that you say, because I'm in the same situation. Most of my friends have retired too. And it's like, I don't resent working. I like working. I love what I do. And that's the joy of being a coach, I think. And I agree with family, and not only family, but friends that um for reason or another you feel okay, I'm obligated to be a friend here. It's so limited. You don't have to see that, you don't have to talk to the person on the phone every day. You don't have, limit that for sure. um I have friends that I don't talk to every day, but I have a friend, and she likes to kid and say she's had me longer than she's had her husband. And I think they've been married 35, 40 years, something like that. We can pick up the phone and just start talking. And that is
Mhm.
the essence. I know I could call her if there's a problem. I recently just reconnected with people that I haven't seen since is it eighth grade?
Wow.
Not even sure. Eighth
Okay.
grade. That's a long time ago. And we're getting together, sometime this month again. So it's I think it has to be a feeling that you have. If I have an appointment with a friend, and they cancel, my thought is like, yeah, good. I'd rather do this. Then let's reevaluate that friendship and go, why would you rather have them cancel than to actually see them? So I think it's an innate feeling. And if sometimes you tolerate because you're so used to tolerating, and it's just a habit. And that's what
Mhm.
I'm finding. I have a couple of relationships. I'll be like you. I'm not going to call them friends. I'll call them relationships. Um, where I have to sort of, okay, I can't really talk about this here, and I can't talk about this here. And I have a lovely friend who has a totally different political view than me. And
Oh.
but we love each other. So it's like, okay,
Mhm.
we're not going to talk about
Right.
politics. We know we're
Right.
not going to do that. So I think you have to first of all check in with yourself. It's like, how do I really feel when I'm getting together with this person or these people? And then, tweak what doesn't really work and see, okay, how can you, like you said, how can you benefit myself? How can I benefit myself? Or am I taking away from my energy?
Key, right. Um, is someone draining you?
Mm.
In which case, I would personally suggest not seeing them if you can, or making it very infrequent. Um, if you're a busy person doing a lot, then you just have so much energy. And most of my friends are retired. Some are giving back a little bit, but for me to say, oh my God, I'm so busy. I'm doing this with you. I'm coaching. I'm doing a podcast. I'm sorry. And now I'm looking at speaking. That's my next venture, to get on a platform and start speaking. And, you know, people look at me and say, what? It's so I think it's a tricky situation because I have a few friends that I really love. We don't have that much in common when it comes to coaching or any of the things I do, or you may do, but they're good friends. So you find things to talk about, even if it really doesn't have a lot to do with what you're doing.
That's a good point because memories are energizing. If you share
Mm-hmm.
memories with a friend, that can bring you back and that can energize. So yeah, and you don't both have to be coaches and doing the same thing at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
That's a connection. That's definitely a common entity, but that's not really a friend. The friend goes a little deeper. Yeah, and I think it's an excellent time because I don't know about you. I do a little bit more personal. You do. I know you do executives in business, but I think it's I have clients who come to me and they can't get along with anybody. And it's like, well, what's wrong with me? And I think it's a great time to examine and go, what are your expectations? How high are they? Are they reasonable? Is there something you're doing to create this reaction from your relationships? So it's again, we're back to balance, and it's like, okay, it's a little bit them, a little bit me. What can I do to improve? And is it worth the energy? That's the trick. Is it worth the energy that it's going to take to do that?
I agree. And it's really looking out and thinking, okay, I belong to a group and I've met a lot of people, most younger than me, but on the same wavelength about they may not be coaches, but they're all about growing and doing, obviously. And um, I just somebody that I met through this group started a magazine, and we started talking. And I said, so, because I did put an article in her first issue, and I said, how, what else can we do? How can I support you? She said, can you write a column every month? I said, sure. So now I am writing a column every month. Again, something else to do
Mhm.
and keeping busy. So it depends what you want to fill your days up with. Certainly, you and I cannot tell somebody you should be doing A, B, C, and D. That's not for us. I can talk for myself, you can talk for yourself. And hopefully our listeners might get a spark to saying, gee, who am I putting up with? What are my relationships about? This is what we're talking about today. Reevaluating as we go into the last 6 months of 24 and reevaluate. Am I loving the people I'm surrounding myself with? Are they negative? By saying, what are you doing that for? We're getting older. Right? That's the thing. Maybe you want to travel more. Maybe you want to do this. That's their experience. You know, if it's okay with my husband that I'm doing what I'm doing and he's okay with it, then we're okay. And it's also juggling relationships with the people that we live with. How do we juggle that? And working all the time and trying to include our main relationship as well. That's another part of relationships.
It's complex. I mean, relationships aren't easy. I mean, coming
Mm-mm.
together is easy and saying, "Oh, yeah, this is good." I had a friend that says, "Well, I have room for one more friend." And
Ah,
I said, "Okay, I didn't know there was a quota and that you had a
ah.
little space there. But I can afford one more friend." It's like, all right. Um, so that's so interesting, and the complexity of it is, I think you can tone down the complexity. You can't eliminate it, but you can tone it down by first figuring out what you want. And I love what you're saying. It's like, well, first of all, where do you want to be at the end of the year? Where did you want 2024 to take you? Who's going to help you get there?
Right.
What do you have to change about yourself, and what do you have to change about your relationships in order to get where you want to go? So I love that aspect. Let me ask you, because I'm not sure I could answer this, because I know you deal with executives and the business world far more than I do. How important are relationships and friendships, and are they one and the same in the business world? Are they necessary or are they hindrances?
Well, I'm just going to clarify. Yes, I do coach high achieving business professionals, but it's about them. You know, it's not about their business at all.
Okay.
So I think from my experiences being in the business world a long time ago, when I was in sales, I was known as a very trusted person with a lot of integrity. And I created an atmosphere of people wanting to do business with me or just liking who I was. I left that business to go into my own business of sales. And I was very successful for one reason. I was respected. People knew who they were getting. And when we look at the business landscape, you know, today is very different. But I still think having integrity and honesty and being who you are, authentic, still goes a long way. And can people create real relationships in the business world? I think yes and no.
Mhm.
You know, in a lot of cases, people are out for themselves. However, that's okay. Have I made any real friends that I am really friendly with today? Not so much. However, I've been in touch with them. Some have been on my podcast, and I think they respected me. And I had that kind of a reputation.
Again, I think we're saying to thine own self be true, be who you are. And
Right.
hopefully you will attract the people that are going to enhance who you are and also help you grow. Because I learn a lot from my friends and I like that.
Right.
I'm concerned that people today, young people today, don't really know how to do the communication thing because you date online, you work
You
from
text.
home. Yeah, yeah, yes, exactly. It's like picking up the phone is almost taboo now. I don't want to have a little phone call. So I'm wondering, and we should probably have somebody young on to tell us how that works. But I'm wondering how you make those relationships. Work. I mean, it's the benefit is, of course, you can have a relationship in New Zealand. You don't have to get together for coffee. You can't get together for coffee. But I'm really wondering if that enhances or takes away from. And I'm going to bet on take away, but that's just because that's the way I made, friends. But um I think that's something that's concerning. It's like it's so easy to say things in text and then not have to back them up.
Right.
So, and
Exactly.
like you were saying, people trusted you and people respected you because they had a face to face. They could see in your eyes. They could tell by your body language. She's telling me the truth here. It would be interesting, I think, to investigate that and see how
I
are
th-
friendships made today.
I think what's needed in college in your senior year is a communications course that these young people can take in their toolkit when they leave to go out in the business world. How do they interview? How do they communicate? It's very different than texting, than whatever. And I am all for having that course in their senior year to say, hey, what you do to communicate today, up to today, needs to radically change going into the business world and to deal with today's business people.
What a great idea. I know like 30 years ago when an MBA was the hottest thing you could get and the schools were jammed and they suddenly realized they were turning out people that knew how to do business, but they did not know how to connect with other people. So they added some touchy-feely courses, so to speak. And I can't remember when it was. I think it was 2000, maybe 10-ish or something. I did a workshop for NASA down in Maryland, and because they realized long ago this was an ongoing thing with them that their people were so technologically astute and aware and informed, but they also had to deal with people. So yes, and I hope that businesses are discovering that, yes, we've got these kids are coming out of college, they're so trained, we don't know what to do with them. And my joke is if you have a computer problem, ask your son, or your
Right.
grandson, even they know far better than you do. They know that. But it's like now I think it's time we need to get back to what you said, the communication course. And communication skills. That's where some coaches come in because there are
Right.
people who, oh, their resume is sterling. But when it comes to actually selling themselves
Right.
or presenting themselves, they don't know how to do it. Yeah.
No, no, that is very true. And they fumfer along the way until they figure it out.
Or their boss is the same as them. And it's like, okay, we'll go with the resume and we'll hope. There's hope. I think there's hope because emotional intelligence has come about,
Right, of
become
course.
important, and coaches are coming on the scene more and more, and the need is, being authenticated. And it's like, yes, the coaches are needed, and people do need a little guidance, even in
Right,
the human
right,
humanoid aspects. So yeah. So I think there's hope, but I think getting back to Friends, because we only have like 2.5 minutes left. I think what we're saying is the first thing to do is evaluate you. It's like, what do you need?
right.
And it's not selfish. It's like it's important because if you're having someone who's draining that from you, you're never going to figure out what you need. So first, sit back and say, what do I need? And who do I know that could help me get there?
And also, as we grow and change, our needs change.
Mhm.
And therefore, our friendships might change.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, and that's another reason why it's a great idea to just sit back and go, wow, you know what? When I first jumped out of college, I wanted to do this, this, and this. And now I don't want to do that. I've already done that, or I did it and I didn't like it, or I did it and I made it. I think most coaches did what they wanted to do. They did the career thing, and then they went, I need a little something more. And I think that's why the people I know got into coaching because it's like, oh, there's got to be a little bit more. I want it a little deeper. So it's good point, Terry. Yeah, it just because you wanted it 10 years ago does not mean you want it now, and it's okay. It's okay. That means you've experienced something cooler. Yeah.
Right. Even a year ago,
Yes.
if you've changed and your mindset has changed, then you've changed. And what are you looking for? And I would encourage listeners to really think about that. Where are you with your relationships? What's working for you? What's not? And what do you want to do about it?
Yeah. And who can help you get
Right,
there,
right,
which is what we're talking. And if you're feeling a little guilty and selfish about that, then well, okay, well, who can I help? Lend that helping
right,
hand also because
right.
that helps also. Well, Miss Yaffe, it looks like we have finished our July session already. These things go
Oh,
so
goodness.
with you. Yes. So we will be getting back together in August.
Uh,
Um, and hopefully we'll figure out another way that we can enhance ourselves and change.
Absolutely. Lori, be well. Remember, creating change. It's the most important thing you can do for yourself.
I agree 100%. Take care, Terry.